Nah. So why the fuck am I hearing that kids are going to school for 6 months, bro?
Okay, we got it. I think we're good.
Breaking news in a shocking and highly controversial statement. President Donald Trump has proposed a dramatic cut to the length of the U.S. academic year, allowing children to attend school for only 6 months annually starting in August. Citing the post-COVID reality of disrupted education, Trump stated, "Kids don't need to be locked up in classrooms all year. A few months of good education is enough. Let them be kids, enjoy life, and learn from the real world." The announcement drew immediate and fierce criticism from educators, parents, and child development experts across the country. Many warned that such a drastic reduction in classroom time could severely damage academic performance, worsen educational inequality, and weaken the long-term strength of the nation's workforce. Critics argue the plan is not backed by any credible research and would reverse decades of progress in public education. Still, some of Trump's supporters applauded the move, describing it as a return to common sense and a way to shield children from overeducation and government overreach. Although no formal policy has been introduced yet, the statement has already sparked a firestorm of debate on cable news and across social media platforms, with trending hashtags like Save Our Schools and Let Kids Learn reflecting the deep divide. Whether this is a serious legislative proposal or simply another campaign season headline remains uncertain. But one thing is clear, America's education system is now in the political crosshairs. Drop you comment.
Nah. So why the fuck am I hearing that kids are going to school for 6 months, bro? What the fuck do you mean 6 months? Where the fuck was my opportunity when I was in school? Busting my ass every day, waking up at 7:15 in the morning just to make it on time. The fuck? And to all those motherfuckers that said Donald Trump ain't gonna do nothing, he ain't gonna change the world, he ain't gonna make the country a better place, suck a fucking dick, cause he just gave y'all 6 months of school. He cut 3 months off. So y'all better be grateful for that, y'all dumb bitches. Nah, I'm really fucking tight, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This shit got me tight. Cause where the fuck was my 6 months when I went to school? For real. Like, don't get it twisted. I ain't gonna lie. Donald Trump dead ass cook for the young, the youth. But like, bro, still, you feel me? Like, come on now. These kids are going to be outside for 7 months. These YNs are going to wild out for 7 months straight. They are going to lose their marbles. They ain't gonna know what the fuck to do. If I'm being completely honest. But nah, W Donald Trump for that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. W Donald Trump.
Breaking news, Trump just decided kids don't have to go to school anymore. Not as much as they used to. So as we all know, there's 12 months in a year. The president of the US just decided 50% of that time, which is 6 months, kids are going to be allowed to sleep in. And just when I thought I grew up in the best era. Oh, that's clearly not the case. Because you'll make way more memories outside of the classroom than you do inside it. Let's address the elephant in the room. Americans aren't the brightest by any means. If you ask the average American how many countries are in Africa, they'll generally think that's a trick question. A lot of Americans don't know that Africa's a continent, not a country. I can kind of see the vision that Trump has. You know, how can you learn just being stuck in a classroom all day? You need more natural learning. This can open up doors for, sport, religious studies, not just useless subjects that people will never need in their life. But I wonder how bored kids will get, because I remember when the 3-month vacation ended, how excited I was to go back to school. It's not that school's amazing. It's just as a kid, consistently feeding your dopamine gets boring. I don't know how long this is going to last. And I know non-Americans think this is going to be ridiculous. So if you're watching this as a non-American, can you comment down below how many weeks or months of the year you get off of school?
So Trump has just confirmed that Project 2025 is indeed his plan for the Department of Education. I'm going to go over all the pieces this week. There is a lot to go through. It's really going to depend on what state that you're in and whether or not your state can afford to risk losing federal funding if they don't adhere to the guidelines. The biggest thing he's going to do is allow corporations of his choosing to go into our school system to harvest labor directly out of. And I'll go over all that. He's going to take away teacher tenure and any employment protections they have as of right now. Now, how is this going to work with the corporations? Well, they are getting rid of IEP and 504 plans. So if your child needs any of those things to learn, well, they won't be available and they will be sent into a special program that the corporations will be providing so that they can make sure that those kids that come out of the school are skilled in specific areas for their corporations. So they do this in other authoritarian countries all the time. So it's not that hard to implement once you defund.
Breaking news, Donald Trump just announced kids 17 and under are not allowed to have phones. I think I agree with this one because y'all see too much on these phones. It's not no parental advisory on this motherfuckers. Y'all doing too much. Like, what happened to kids bop and stuff, all that stuff? Like, y'all be doing too much that the adults is doing. Y'all seeing too much that the adults is doing. What y'all think about it? Ain't no reason my 8-year-old cousin should know the new Nicki Minaj video that's out and shit like that. I think I'm lying. Go check the news. World news, national news, top news, CNN, TMZ. The Shade Room. Shout me out. But yeah, because I don't think kids should have phones in schools. Like, it fuck up their focus and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just too much that make kids want other things than what they need for what they want. And it drive them crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. We might have to try that out for a year or something. I don't know.
Act Now and its 16 sites are about keeping America's children out of the criminal justice system. Once in the system, there's a 70% chance you will reoffend, 55% chance you will be convicted, and 40% chance you'll be reincarcerated. This comes at an annual median cost of $65,000 a year. Educating a student in the K-12 public school system is $14,000 to $16,000 a year. One of the goals of Act Now's Everyday Counts initiative is keeping students in school by addressing chronic absenteeism in our schools. An analysis from RAND estimates 19% or 9.4 million students were chronically absent during the 23-24 school year. These students are at greater risk of experiencing substance use disorders, perpetrating crime, being victims of violence, and are at risk of teenage pregnancy, and they are more likely to be unemployable. Go to our website, actnow4.us, to learn how you can become an Act Now site. Join this community effort to keep our kids out of the criminal justice system. This is Jim Koppel for Act Now.
If you have a federal student loan, you know tons of things are going to be changing in the next year because of President Trump's big, beautiful bill. But this week, there's a chance for you to share your thoughts on how those changes should be rolled out. So I'm going to tell you how to do it in a second. But first, of course, the new law, which passed with only Republican votes, will do lots of things when it comes to student loans starting next year. It'll change the amount of money you can borrow for a new loan. It'll change Parent Plus loans and Pell Grants, and it will basically eliminate the current income-driven repayment programs, including the SAVE plan. Now, those are only a few of the changes coming as a result of the big, beautiful bill. But here's the thing about all legislation or bills that ultimately become law. Congress generally doesn't deal with the details. They're more of the big picture kind of people. And then they delegate the details to the bureaucrats and the appointees in the government departments that actually have to implement their bills that they pass. So this is not uncommon. It happens all the time. So when it comes to the student loan changes made in the big, beautiful bill, Congress knew that they were not going to be the experts in how to implement student loan change. So they delegated how to actually implement their plans and what exact procedures are going to have to be necessary and what qualifications there are going to be. They delegated all that to the Department of Education. Side note, yes, the Department of Education still exists. So now, this Thursday, the Department of Education is holding a virtual meeting to start the process of coming up with all the rules that will govern all the changes that Congress demanded in the big, beautiful bill. And you can submit your comments on that